Hare Krishna, all of you. Welcome, all of you, for today's Ishopanishad session. Let us begin with prayers.
Hare Krishna.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Reading from Sri Ishopanishad by His Divine Grace Vishwaguru Abhay Charnaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Mantra 6. Yastu sarvani bhutani atmanyevānupashyati sarva bhuteshu chatmanam tato na vijugupsate. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada. Translation. He who sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord, who sees all living entities as his parts and parcels, and who sees the Supreme Lord within everything, never hates anything or any being. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This is a description of the Mahabhagavata, the great personality, who sees everything in relation to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord's presence is realized in three stages. The Kanishtha Adhikari is in the lowest stage of realization. He goes to a place of worship, such as a temple, church, or mosque, according to his religious faith, and worships there according to scriptural injunctions. Devotees in this stage consider the Lord to be present at the place of worship and nowhere else. They cannot ascertain who is in what position in devotional service, nor can they tell who has realized the Supreme Lord. Such devotees follow the routine formulas and sometimes quarrel among themselves, considering one type of devotion better than another. These Kanishta Adhikaris are actually materialistic devotees who have not attained the second stage of realization and are therefore unable to reach the spiritual plane. Those who have attained the second stage of realization are called Madhyama Adhikaris. These devotees observe the distinctions between four categories of being: 1. The Supreme Lord; 2. The devotees of the Lord; 3. The innocent who have no knowledge of the Lord; and 4. The atheists who have no faith in the Lord and hate those in devotional service. The Madhyamadhikari behaves differently toward these four classes of person. He adores the Lord, considers him the object of love. He makes friends with those who are in devotional service. He tries to awaken the dormant love of God in the hearts of the innocent, and he avoids the atheists who deride the very name of the Lord. Above the Madhyama Adhikari is the Uttama Adhikari, who sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord. Such a devotee does not discriminate between an atheist and a theist, but sees everyone as part and parcel of God. He knows that there is no essential difference between a vastly learned Brahmana and a dog in the street, because both of them are part and parcel of the Lord, although they are encaged in different bodies on account of the different qualities of their activities in their previous lives. He sees that the Brahmana particle of the Supreme Lord has not misused his little independence given him by the Lord, and that the dog particle has misused his independence and is therefore being punished by the laws of nature by being encaged in the form of a dog. Not considering the respective actions of the Brahmana and the dog, the Uttamadhikari tries to do good to both. Such a learned devotee is not misled by material bodies, but is attracted by the spiritual spark within them. Those who imitate an Uttama Adhikari by flaunting a sense of oneness or fellowship, but who behave on the bodily platform, are actually false philanthropists. The conception of universal brotherhood must be learned from an Uttama Adhikari and not from a foolish person who does not properly understand the individual soul or the Supreme Lord's super soul expansion who dwells everywhere. We will continue to read. First, we shall discuss these points. So, in the previous session, we had a brief description about the summary of all the first five mantras of Ishopanishad. Now, the sixth mantra says, Yastu sarvani bhutani atmanyeva pashyati. One who sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord. That is the meaning of this statement. Seeing everything in relationship with the Supreme Lord. What does it mean? Everything, every object, every personality, every entity has a sambandha with Krishna. Nobody or nothing is disconnected from Krishna. Everything has got a connection with Krishna. Now, advancing in Krishna consciousness means to be able to understand or recognize the connection of every person, every entity, everything with Krishna. Seeing anything as disconnected from Krishna is called illusion. Everything is connected with Krishna. Nothing is actually disconnected from Krishna. Because Krishna himself says this in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, Aham sarvasya prabhavaha. Everything has emanated from me. That means everything has a cause and effect relationship with Krishna. Be it a conscious living entity, jivas, or be it the unconscious or non-conscious material entities. All of them have connection with Krishna. So this Krishna Sambandha, Vijnana, one has to understand. This is Krishna consciousness. So Krishna consciousness means Krishna Sambandha Vijnana, the science of one's everything's relationship with Krishna. Now, when we understand that everything and everyone is connected with Krishna, there is no chance of engaging in independent attempts for material sense gratification. Why do we engage in independent attempts for enjoyment? Because we forget that we exist to give pleasure to Krishna, and my pleasure comes by giving pleasure to Krishna. We forget this fact. That is why we seek temporary pleasures, independent pleasures in this world. We think that I have to earn my pleasure myself. For that, I have to secure sense objects. To secure sense objects, I have to work hard and earn money. And once I have sufficient money, wealth, then I can afford all sense objects. I can buy, I can secure those sense objects. Why do I need sense objects? Because I need sensual pleasure. This is the only kind of pleasure that I know currently. Therefore, I have to work very hard, secure the sense objects so that the sensual demands are met, so that I can enjoy sense gratification. This is the attitude of almost everyone in this material world. Why this attitude exists? Because everyone has forgotten that I am part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is my Lord. Krishna is my Master. My pleasure comes by serving Krishna. The part can enjoy only when the whole is satisfied. Srila Prabhupada gave the example of the finger in our hand. As long as the finger is connected with the rest of the body, blood flows through the finger, nutrients are supplied to every cell in the finger. Every cell in the finger functions normally, healthy in a healthy manner, and the finger is healthy, finger is happy. But the moment the finger gets disconnected from the body, there is no blood flow, there is no supply of nutrients. The cells cannot function, the cells die, and the finger starts rotting. The finger is useless, it has to be simply thrown away. So, Prabhupada, through this analogy, he said that we are all amshas of Krishna, we are all parts and parcels of Krishna. So, we have to be connected with Krishna. When we are connected with Krishna, what happens? Krishna is an ocean of Sat, Chit, and Ananda. He is an ocean of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. When I get connected with Him, then there is no shortage of Ananda in my life. I don't have to seek Ananda elsewhere. This is my natural way of getting Ananda by being connected with Krishna in devotional service. This is the point that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed. Jiver Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nitya Dasa. Our Swarupa, our original position is that we are eternal servants of Krishna. Just like a servant, when a servant who simply engages in the master's service according to his desire, according to his instructions, then the servant's needs are all taken care by the master. All that the servant has to do is he has to simply make sure that the master is pleased with him. He has to engage in activities as per the master's desire. Just like some of us are government servants, some of us are working in some government, enterprises. So what we are supposed to do? We are employed by the government to do activities connected with the government according to the rules and regulations or according to the norms mentioned by the government servant has to keep on working. And when the government is pleased with the work of the government servant, the government gives many facilities, it gives promotion, it gives lifelong benefits. The government servant need not have to worry about his future. Even after retirement, he is taken care by the government. Isn't it? That's a material example, but it is actually so with respect to the Supreme Lord and our relationship with Him. That is why Ishopanishad is saying, Yastu sarvani bhutani atmanyevanu pashyati. Now the word evanu pashyati is very important. Anupashyati. Pashyati means to see. Now, pashyati means not simply seeing through our gross material eyes. Pashyati means to see with the eyes of knowledge. As Krishna says in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which we are reciting during this Purushottama Masa, Pashyanti Jnana Chakshushaha. Real seeing happens through the eyes of knowledge. And how do we get this knowledge? We get this knowledge by pleasing a Mahabhagavata, pure devotee spiritual master. When he is pleased with us, he transmits the transcendental knowledge within our heart, Divya Jnana Hriday Prakashita, and within the heart, the lamp of knowledge is shined forth, then we can actually see things as they are. We can see everything as connected with Krishna. So here, anupashyati means to see with, in a systematic way, in a transcendental manner, through the vision of jnana chakshu, through the eyes of the scriptural knowledge. Sarva bhuteshu cha atmanam, and one who sees that all living entities are parts and parcels of Krishna, and who sees that the Supreme Lord is within everything, such a person never vigupsate, na vijugupsate. Such a person does not hate anything or any being. He does not develop hatred towards any person or any entity. Now, Prabhupada explains in the purport about the three classes of devotees. Prabhupada says this mantra 6 actually describes the characteristic features of a very advanced devotee who is known as Mahabhagavata. What is the vision of a Mahabhagavata? Mahabhagavata, or the topmost devotee, pure devotee of the Lord, sees everything in connection with Krishna. He sees everybody is a part and parcel of Krishna. He sees everything is energy of Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. Therefore, he expertly engages everything and everyone in the service of Krishna. This is the symptom of a Mahabhagavata. Now, here there are three stages of realizing Lord's presence everywhere in this world. Prabhupada explains. The first stage is called the neophyte stage, also known as Kanishtha Adhikari stage. Right? Kanishtha Adhikari. Adhikara means what? Adhikara means right, or uh, one who has a hold on something. He is called Adhikari. So, Kanishtha Adhikari means he is the beginner, he is a neophyte in the process of recognizing Lord's presence everywhere. Now, what is his vision? Very faithfully, such a Kanishtha Adhikari visits temple. He worships the deity in the temple very faithfully. According to the scriptural injunctions, he worships. But then he thinks that God is present only in the temple. He does not know that everybody is a part and parcel of God. He does not know how to treat the devotees of the Lord properly because his vision is very limited, very primitive understanding about God. So, God is definitely present in the deity, in the temple, there is no doubt about it. But God is also present within the heart of a pure devotee who has completely realized the Lord. So we call this as Sannidhana. Sannidhana means the presence of the Lord. The Lord is present in everyone's heart, but different devotees they have different realization of the Lord, different degrees of realization of the Lord. So when you meet a pure devotee of the Lord, since the pure devotee is cent% engaged in the service of the Lord, in the pure devotee you will find cent% sannidhana of the Lord. You can feel the presence of the Lord just by meeting a pure devotee. Just by meeting Srila Prabhupada, there were many atheistic people, core materialistic people who got convinced about Krishna consciousness. They became devotees of the Lord. Forget about physically meeting. Just by reading Srila Prabhupada's books, even today, millions of people are becoming Krishna conscious. That is the potency of a pure devotee's words. So, in the words of a pure devotee, in the personality of a pure devotee, Mahabhagavata, there is 100% sannidhana, presence of the Supreme Lord. Why? Because he himself has completely realized the Lord. He has completely become connected with the Lord in pure devotional service. So, a Kanishtha Adhikari who is just a beginner, he appreciates that the Lord is present in the temple. Faithfully, he goes to the temple, offers worship, bows down in front of the deity, but he fails to recognize the presence of the Lord in the other devotees' hearts. So therefore, what he does? He does not show respect to the devotees. Right? That means his vision is not complete, it's not perfect. He only perceives the Lord in the deity. So all of us begin in that stage only. We all think that only Lord is present in the temple. So we have to make further progress from that stage of Kanishtha Adhikari. So when one makes, so what is the solution? What should one do, Kanishtha Adhikari, to come out of this limited perception? A Kanishtha Adhikari should hear from a pure devotee spiritual master. When he hears from a pure devotee, then his convictions will grow, will deepen. He will be able to gradually come to the second stage of realizing the Lord's presence everywhere and in everybody. And that second stage is called Madhyama Adhikari platform, intermediate stage. Kanishtadikari is the preliminary stage or neophyte stage, beginner stage. Madhyamadikari is a intermediate stage, the second stage. So in the Madhyamadikari platform, what happens? A devotee is able to uh, distinguish between four kinds of entities. Who are the four kinds of entities? Number one, the Supreme Lord. Number two, the devotees of the Lord. Number three, the innocent who are not devotees. Number four, the atheists or the envious people. Four kinds of people. So a Madhyamadikari devotee becomes more matured and he is able to distinguish between these four kinds of entities. And towards each of these four kinds of entities, he behaves differently. This difference in treatment is not on the material platform, but it is purely on the spiritual platform, actually. So, a Madhyamadikari devotee, what is his dealing with the Lord? With the Lord, he loves the Lord. He engages in his loving service. That is his relationship with the Lord, with the Supreme Lord. Towards the devotees, how does a Madhyamadikari behave? Towards the devotees, if they are his equals, he befriends them. If they are his superiors, he serves them and takes instruction and guidance from them. If they are inferior to him, junior to him, he guides them, right? He loves them and guides them properly. So this is how a Madhyamadikari deals with the devotees of the Lord. Now, with respect to non-devotees, there are two categories of people: those who are innocent and those who are envious. Towards the innocent non-devotees, what does the Madhyamadikari, how does he behave with them? He takes compassion upon them. He feels sorry for them for not being in devotional service. But since they are innocent, he guides them with lot of patience, love, and care, and he, out of compassion, preaches to them the message of Krishna consciousness. So, innocent people are those who do not know about devotional service, who do not know about Krishna, and they are interested to know. They are interested to know. So, a Madhyamadikari devotee engages in preaching to these innocent non-devotees. Now, there is another class of non-devotees who are envious of Krishna. How do you know when somebody is envious? You speak to them once or twice. Every time you talk about Krishna, they will always find some fault in Krishna unnecessarily. They will bring up some crooked logic just to prove that Krishna is wrong or the path of bhakti is not correct, something like that. Even after repeatedly hearing, they are not able to develop faith in Krishna. They only bring about some points to show that Krishna is imperfect or Krishna is wrong through some materially twisted logics and arguments. Such people are called envious people. And how does a Madhyamadikari devotee deal with such an envious person? A Madhyamadikari devotee carefully avoids such people. There is no need of simply arguing with logic, because if you keep on arguing with logic, there is no end to a logical debate. You come up with one logic, the other person comes up with a higher logic to defeat your logic, and then you think of a better logic, how to counter his logic. Then this goes on and on. It keeps on going. Finally, there is no conclusion emerging. That person remains where he is, and you remain where you are. Neither that person becomes a devotee nor you give up your point of view. So, therefore, a Madhyamadikari devotee does not waste time with an envious person. He avoids them. Another reason why a Madhyamadikari devotee he avoids an envious person is that the more you preach or talk about Krishna to an envious person, the more he becomes envious of Krishna. He is going far away from Krishna. Actually, our preaching should result in a person coming closer to Krishna. Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam Bhakti Uttama. Rupa Goswami has defined what is Uttama Bhakti. Anukulyena, favorably one should think about Krishna. favorably one should serve Krishna. That is bhakti. That means one should develop positive feelings of love and devotion towards Krishna. But when you preach to an envious person, his mentality is such that the more you preach to him about Krishna, the more he tries to become envious of Krishna. That means our preaching has a negative effect on such a person. Therefore, it is better to avoid talking to such faithless, atheistic people. We can only pray to Krishna. Please, Krishna, you are seated in this person's heart as Paramatma. Please inspire him. Please give him intelligence so that he can appreciate you and become your devotee. That is what we should do. We should not become angry at them. We should, you know, maybe we should give them a lot of prasadam because prasadam can do wonders. What philosophical discussion cannot do, Mahaprasadam of the Lord can do that miracle. Many people have become Krishna conscious devotees just by taking prasadam. So, in this way, a Madhyamadhikari devotee should actually deal or deals with different four kinds of personalities. So Srila Prabhupada says one should not remain in the neophyte platform for a long period of time. Why? Because there is a danger of fall down. When one remains in the neophyte position, he is not able to understand scripturally, he is not having scriptural conviction why he has to worship the Lord, why he has to preach, or why he has to deal with different kinds of people differently. He has no all this sense. Because of this, he commits offenses against the devotees. And because of this, he actually falls down. Offenses cause displeasure to the Lord and his devotees. Therefore, we should avoid offenses. And to avoid offenses, we need to have scriptural knowledge, conviction, and association of devotees. So then only we can avoid offenses. So in the neophyte stage, there is a tendency of committing more offenses. Therefore, there is a tendency of the devotee to fall down. That is why Srila Prabhupada says, quickly one must come to the Madhyamadhikari platform. So Madhyamadhikari platform means after Anartha Nivritti, one comes to the Madhyamadhikari platform. That means Adav Shraddha, we all begin with faith. Then Tata Sadhu Sangha, with faith we associate with devotees. And after associating with devotees, the result is the third stage, Bhajana Kriya. We engage in devotional service and chanting of the holy names. And when we engage in devotional service faithfully, we become free from our anarthas. That is the fourth stage, Anartha Nivritti. So after Anartha Nivritti, we develop Nishtha, firm conviction. And that is called Madhyamadhikari platform. Nishtha, from Nishtha stage onwards, it is called Madhyamadhikari platform. So Prabhupada says a devotee should be at least situated in the Madhyamadhikari platform so that he does not fall down from the path of devotional service, but so that he can become free from his offensive tendencies and offensive mentalities. And above this Madhyamadhikari is the topmost platform, Uttamadhikari, a pure devotee of the Lord. Now, Uttamadhikari, what is his vision? How does he perceive the Lord in every entity? He sees perfectly that everybody is a part and parcel of Krishna. He has no bhinna drishti. He does not see anyone as disconnected from Krishna. Whether one is a dog, a soul in the dog's body, he sees this is also a part and parcel of Krishna. A soul in the Brahmana's body is also a part and parcel of Krishna. But why is the soul, one soul put into a dog's body and one soul, why is he put into the Brahmana's body? The Brahmana's body, the soul who is in the Brahmana's body, he has not misused his minute independence. Therefore, he has been given a higher opportunity to become advanced in Krishna consciousness. Whereas the soul which is encaged in the dog's body has misused his free will and he has acted sinfully against the Lord's wish. Therefore, he has been degraded to such a lower form of life. So that is the difference. Otherwise, both the soul in the dog's body and in the Brahmana's body, both are eternal parts and parcels of Krishna. So a pure devotee, Uttamadhikari, treats all the living entities with care and compassion. So if a pure devotee sees a dog, he will think, how can I connect this dog to Krishna? Okay, let me give it some Mahaprasada. Let this dog get some credit, Krishna conscious credits. So he distributes prasada. He makes sure that the dog gets fed with Krishna prasada. So in this way, a pure devotee is always seeing everyone and everything as connected with Krishna. So this is a point. These are some of the points that we understood from today's part of the today's purport. We will again meet in the next session. Continue to read from Ishopanishad Mantra 6 and get more inputs on how to develop this vision, how to become free from the separatist vision, and how to develop holistic vision of seeing everyone and everything in connection with Krishna. Shri Ishopanishad ki jai, Vishnu Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
In a few moments, we will be chanting the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita verses. I request all of you to please stay online.